So how's it going growing in a raised bed with 100% homemade, almost free compost? It's okay. Let's go take a look. Hey guys, Elizabeth, curly-haired country gal here. Eventually, I want to raise 100% of our own food, maybe 10 years down the road. But we also need to stick to a pretty modest budget. The reason for doing this is so that we can eat pasture-raised meat and better than organic produce and incorporate all those wonderful Weston A. Price principles into our home. So, starting last year, I started making my own compost, and you can check out the videos on that. And I planted this garden bed a while ago. Now, by now, the plants should be pretty well mature, but they're kind of slow growing. So you can see here that the thing that is by far doing the best is the lettuce. There's also a little bit of Swiss chard popping up, as well as a little bit of spinach. Now there's a tiny bit of kale, but the thing that seemed to do the worst were the collards, which I don't really see any of. However, there is a lot of beautiful grass growing in my raised bed. Now I saw this popping up within the first week or two of planting the seeds, and I just didn't really know what the best way to go about handling it was. But thankfully, around this time, I also wanted to test my soil because I'm gonna be planting some long-term crops in the food forest, and I wanted to make sure that the soil was doing well. So I got some RAPIDTEST soil testers, but what I found with that, according to the probe on this maybe $25 or $30 probe, was that my fertility of the soil is very low. So that was really disappointing because I thought that it would be awesome with all this organic matter. So again, Facebook comes to the rescue. I was able to join a couple composting groups. There's Facebook groups for composting. One of them is called Composting 101, and one of them is called Keep Calm and Compost. And I was able to ask, hey, are these probes effective? Can you grow in 100% compost? Am I doing anything right? And thankfully, a lot of people said, yeah, I grow in 100% compost, and a lot of people recommended me to Charles Dowding's work. I've only watched maybe a cumulative couple of hours of his work so far, but I've been really encouraged. So I think I'm really on the right track with what I'm doing and how I'm growing. But he did have some helpful tips that I can definitely do next time for preventing all of this grass. He plants in rows, which makes a lot of sense because it makes it way easier to hoe in between the rows. So I think I might do that next time, as opposed to trying to do the square foot gardening method of 4 lettuce and 9 spinach and 2 Swiss chard or 2 kale. So that's what I might do next time, and then when the grass seed or the weeds are much smaller, go ahead and use the hoe to just go ahead and get them out in bulk, I guess. But overall, I'm actually feeling pretty encouraged. There's not a ton of growth, like I mentioned with the collard, but the lettuce is doing fine. I should probably do a first harvest pretty soon, and I feel really equipped for next time getting the grass out. And even if you have a cold compost or a cool compost, like mine is tending to be now because the chickens just tear it apart so quickly, and I don't always get out there to stack it back up, things are still going to break down. Dowding mentioned that if you have a cooler compost, there are going to be grass weeds or grass and flower or plant seeds that will survive, but that's where his idea of using the hoe comes in. So the raised bed's doing okay. I'm still feeling optimistic. I'm still feeling pretty good about growing in compost now that I've learned a little bit from Dowding and I know where to find more information. So thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it or learned something, can you just like it down below? Thanks.